Hello and welcome to Doing More with Less. My name is Clasina Jones. I am the owner of Bizarre Gardening, and today our project is focused on turning tissue boxes into new items. The three items we'll be making today include this planter box, this desk organizer, and a monster with Halloween coming up. For the project today, to make all of these items, you'll need tissue boxes, paint, and a brush or a sponge. I recommend this for easy transfer onto the cardboard. Some glitter, leftover ribbons and strings, glue, and some construction paper. The color doesn't really matter, it's up to your choice. Same with the paint, the glitter, everything else. So the first project we're going to make is this little plant stand. You can see it has some nice twine and lace, and it fits perfectly over a 4-inch pot with a plant of your choice. So this is a very simple project. If you have glue, string, twine, you could use wool. Now I like to add some lace just to touch it up. So some of the tissue boxes that you can find in the stores are quite decorative already. I like to work with that decorative feature whenever possible to incorporate it. Makes the project easier and makes the whole pattern just a bit more interesting. So you can see this tissue box has some little flower details on there, or flower petal-like details, and it's beige and white, so that's why I'm working with similar colors. So this is pretty simple, using tacky glue or hot glue if you have it. As I've mentioned previously, be careful with hot glue. You don't want to hurt yourself. Be sure to turn it off. It is a fire hazard. Tacky glue works just fine for this, and most people seem to have something like this. So simply take your glue and your blocks, and we're just going to do a strip of glue take your string, line it up, place it down, you might want to press it for a moment just to make sure it's secure. So there you can see we've done one row. And to make it a little easier to match up the edges, I like to go over the corner and meet the middle up on a different edge. It makes it easier to get a straight line, and it's not such an obvious hard corner. So just keep pressing that string down. If you have the hot glue, it will stick a little quicker and adhere a little quicker. And I did use hot glue for the other side. You'll keep repeating that all the way up the side of the tissue box. You can see that a little better. And this glue will dry clear. So it won't affect the appearance. So you can see that as you add more layers, you'll cover up the logos. Okay, and we'll just keep repeating that for as high as you want to go. Depends on how thick your string is and what the design of the tissue box itself is. So the next thing we're going to add is the lace feature. And again, you can do that as high up on the box as you want or need to based on the design. So we'll just measure out the length. So once again, simply take the glue, take your length of lace, press it down to make sure it's secure. You can see that's covered up the logo, and it has started to add that nice feature with the twine and the lace. So once you've done as high up as you want to go, you can add in your plant. So on the side that I did previously, I did 10 layers. You can see that comes up much higher. I left the seam of the box. I like to feature the characteristics of the original item when possible. So the next step is to put in your plant. Depending on the size of your pot, you could either just put it through the top and leave the bottom intact. I've cut out the bottom with a knife so I could place in this spider plant. There you can see. A nice little plant holder. This is a nice way to spruce up any plastic pots. If you don't want to keep plants in plastic pots that they come in from the nursery. And just remember to add a saucer underneath. Okay, so the next item we're going to make from our tissue boxes today is this nice little desk organizer. So to make this, I started with a tissue box that has a pattern that I like. You can see it has this blue, purple, navy blue, feather petal looking design on it. So to cover up the logos, which is the only thing I really want to do here, I took some ribbon that matches the colors of the box. You can complement the colors. You can contrast the colors if you want. So then once again, we take our tacky glue adhere it about the width of the ribbon. Simply take the ribbon and glue it on there. There you go. Now I'm just going to trim this edge and use a little glue to fix it down. And again, this will dry clear, so it will cover up and adhere that seam nicely. You can see I did 2 ribbon heights up here. You can go as far as you want. This leaves the tissue feature uncovered. This covers it up. Now for this project, I am leaving the plastic in the spot where the tissues would normally come out of. If you still have toilet paper rolls laying around, which I'm sure we all do, take some of those if you want to do compartments. If you just want to store one thing, you don't need to take this step. But I like to take these, slide them into the gap, and that plastic layer will hold them nicely. And again, it's always nice to keep a feature of the original item. So now you've got 2 containers there. I'm going to use one side of mine for markers, the other side for pencils. With a lot of us looking to do at-home craft activities, this is great for craft organization or for homeschooling. Okay. Now the third item we're going to work on is this fun little monster box. Halloween is coming up. This is a great activity for kids to make Halloween decorations or other aliens or other items you can come up with for homeschooling ideas especially. So for this project, we have a bigger tissue box. You can see I've already pre-painted and glittered this one with white and orange. Paint and glitter, it's easy. However, depending on how much coverage you want on the box, you might need to do a couple of layers. So we're just using quick drying acrylic paint. This is where the sponges work a bit nicer to cover up the patterns on the box quicker than a brush might. You might need some more layers with the brush strokes showing through. So we take a sponge, and you don't need to use a fancy craft sponge. If you have a dish sponge at home that's old and on its last legs, you could rinse it out, clean it out with some soap, and use that. So you can see, we just dab it on there. And while that paint's wet, I'm going to take my orange glitter and just sprinkle it on. So as the paint dries, the glitter will dry on there with it. Let's do this side as well. And instead of glitter, which I just chose because it's simple, you could use paper to add decorations, stickers. So while that's drying, we'll work on the eyes and the teeth. So again, you can use white paper and color it in however you want. That's what I did with this one. Or if you have construction paper, you can cut out any colored eyes and teeth. I used orange to match his glitter. So the first step for the face is to pull out the plastic liner. If you wanted to put a flameless candle or some kind of battery operated light in there, you definitely could, and in that case you might leave the plastic for a spookier effect. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue on his teeth right in the bottom of the mouth here. So find your glue, find your teeth, and I'm just going to put on a few spots. Okay. So we're just going to take the box and put the teeth right in the bottom there. And you'll squeeze it to make sure it sticks. Next, we're going to take our eyes. Stick them right here. I do find the tacky glue does tend to work better on the painted tissue boxes than the hot glue, just because at this point it sometimes slides off the glue, it feels like, or off the paint. So if you've been using a hot glue gun and you feel like it's not adhering well, switch to some tacky glue. All right, and there we have it. A little monster for our monster friend. And again, these start to make some great Halloween decorations. You could stack them on top of each other and start building a monster palette. If you have any questions about the projects you've seen today, please feel free to reach out to me through email. My email address is Clasina, CLASINA at Bazaar Gardening, BAZAARGARDENING.org. Thank you.